Hello folks, got two lessons coming this week talking about how to write formulas for sequences and series. What we've been doing so far, and by the way, they're both going to be a little bit on the shorter side, hope that doesn't mess with you. I would try and do both of these in one sitting and make sure you take notes. At this point, we have been pretty much using explicit formulas, okay, using the mathematical patterns. Now, an explicit formula is going to be in terms of just numbers and the number of the term, or in this case, n, okay? So to find the a sub nth term, the only thing I'm going to need to have is the number of the term. So to find the first term, all I need to do is say, okay, take 1 and substitute that in for n. I can say that my first term in this case is just going to be -4 because when I plug in 1 to both of those, I get -4. When I plug 2 in for n, and here, you're going to end up saying -11 plus 14 is going to give me 3. A sub 3 is just going to be substitute in 3 in the place of the n there, so I get 10, 17, and 24. So if I am asked to, like in this case, find the first 5 terms of the sequence, it's just a case of plugging in the values. Now, hopefully people are looking at this and they're saying, wait a second, I've seen this type of format before. It should be an arithmetic sequence. How do I come up with that information? Well, take a look. It's in the same format that we were using before. Here's going to be some sort of term, and then I'm going to be adding 7 every single time there. So, shouldn't surprise you that to go from -4 to 3 is 7, from 3 to 10 is 7, from 10 to 17 is 7, etc., etc., etc. So to come up with the first 5 terms, you just plug it in and you should be good on that. Please take a couple seconds and see if you can do this on another explicit formula. Find the first 5 terms of this sequence. Now I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a geometric or an arithmetic one. Just plug it in, pause your thing, see if you can write out the first 5. So let's see how you did. So I'm going to, for my first term, I'm just going to plug in 1 for n and 1 for n. So that's going to get me 1 over 2, or 1/2. When I plug in 2 for n and 2 for n, I'm looking at 2/3. Then when I plug in 3 for n, I end up with 3/4, 4/5, and 5/6. Again, nothing terribly exciting. And you can notice on this one, there really isn't a common ratio or a common difference, which is why we say that this one is going to be neither arithmetic or geometric. Okay, let's take a look next at this one here. Trying to come up with an explicit formula. Now, determine whether or not we're looking arithmetic, geometric, or neither, and we're going to try and come up with an explicit formula for each sequence, and then see what you can do about finding the 10th term. Well, if you look at this, I'm hoping that 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, and 6 to 7 just screams out to you right now that this is going to be arithmetic, and so you're going to be able to use your formula, which ends up being, well, in terms of my expression, you take the number of the term and you just add 2 to it. Now, technically, yes, I could write this as 3 plus 1 times the quantity n minus 1, but it does simplify this down very, very nicely to just distribute. Doesn't mean you have to, but I'll tell you right now, it's easier to plug this one in than the unsimplified one. So let's take a look here. Okay, take a look at that and see, do you have a common ratio or a common difference on this? Okay. We're looking, and I'm going to say, yep, it's geometric. How come? Because 8 divided by 4 is going to get me 2. 16 divided by 8 is 2. 32 divided by 16 is 2. 64, etc., etc., etc. So now I just need to substitute in my values and say that I'm going to just look at, there's my expression, and all I need to do is just substitute 10 in here and 10 in there, and you should be good about finding this. Next up, try this one. Okay, now I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, 1/6 divided by 1/3. Does that give me a common thing? And again, if you need to, notice I'm writing out the terms there. Okay, 1/6 divided by 1/3 is going to get me a half. 1/9 divided by 1/6, that's going to get me 2/3. So what I'm going to say on that one is neither. Now, had this been something other than this year, yes, we would go and come up with the way to express that would be something like this. However, I'm not going to hold you accountable on that, so just worry about getting to neither. Take a look at this one. Okay, see if you can figure out, is it arithmetic, is it geometric, or is it neither? Once again, I'm hoping that people identify it as neither because I'm going up by 3, 5, 7, and 9 there. Yes, there is a way to come up with an expression. Don't worry about it. I am not going to spend the time on it for us. Please take a look at this one also. And once again, it's neither, so we don't need to worry about expressing it. Last thing I need to do is I'm going to need to talk about doing some word problems. So it says, you walk 1 mile the first day, 1.2 miles the second day, 1.6 miles the third day, etc., etc. How many miles do you walk on the 7th day? Okay, so we're going to look and we're going to say, there's my pattern. I'm going up by 0.2, 0.4, 0.8. Well, and how do we go about finding this? Give it a second, look at it. Not a geometric or a arithmetic, but what we are noticing is that I'm doubling the amount I'm going up by. So what that means is I'm going to need to write out a chart and then just keep adding the doubling. That's how I'm ending up coming up with my 13.6 miles. Please take a look at this one. You've invested money in a company and over a month you've received this much. First 4 months is that. See if you can write something out to figure out what the pattern is. Okay, I'm noticing going up by 2, going up by 4, going up by 6. What do you think the next one's going to be? Well, I'm hoping that people are going to say 8. And once again, you can just write this out until you are able to get someplace on that. And hopefully you end up with 140. Okay, well, that's about all I've got for you today. So let you guys finish up and get started on the recursive formulas.